The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Drive, take your thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line this morning. Go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app for that. It's presented by Happy State Bank. The Visual Edge IT hotline at 2 is open at 806-771-0973. With Jamie Lent, Jeff McGuire, I'm Chuck Heinz. Jamie, with regard to Big 12 football this past weekend, you had BYU winning over Cincinnati 26-14, Kansas State losing at the end to number 12 Utah 51-47. A really, really exciting ball game that we came down to the wire. TCU winning at Houston, Arizona State winning at Colorado, Arizona winning handily over Baylor, and UCF getting one at the end to beat Oklahoma State 17-14. Was the BYU one was that the surprise for you of the weekend, or just, I mean, did you feel like it could have gone either way?
I was picking BYU to win, but I wouldn't necessarily say it was a surprise. They were the favored team. I would tell you the one that surprised me was Kansas State and Utah, that was a game, and ultimately ended up being one of the most entertaining football games of the year in the Big 12 Conference. But the surprise to me, I thought TCU would be able to beat Houston, so I wouldn't call that one a shocker. Arizona State over Colorado, yes. I was a little surprised that Baylor didn't put up much of a fight. For a minute there, I thought there was going to be a surprise with Oklahoma State winning a game when they were up 14-0. So, yeah, I don't know that there were major surprises, but again, maybe just that Baylor looked that bad.
Yeah. Yeah, and for some reason, I thought, in my mind, I thought you had Cincinnati winning, but yeah, you're right.
No, I did. Okay. I was picking them to win, but I mean, BYU was the team that was favored. I thought Cincinnati playing at home would give them a battle, and I mean, it was a decent game, but Cincinnati just couldn't put enough together.
Yeah, the Big 12's released its what ifs for the Big 12 championship game, and it's just so nice to see. The fact that you've got all you have to do is beat West Virginia or Arizona State. A loss will get Tech into the Big 12 championship game. But man, if you lose to West Virginia, that's going to be all kinds of disappointment. If Arizona State were to lose and Tech were to lose, you still get into the Big 12 championship game. But man, that means that without a doubt you have to beat whomever to advance to the college football playoff, and that probably means you're not going to host and you're not going to get a bye, and it's gonna feel like a big letdown for something that you've never done before, which is get to a Big 12 championship game. So maybe I shouldn't even try to talk that into existence, and which I'm really not. But it's just like that's certainly something that could happen.
Yeah, as I said before, this team knows what's in front of them. They know if they win, they're in the Big 12 championship game, which the school's never been in before when it comes to football. So that should be a really motivated team.
Yeah. Let's see here. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Maybe the early game time and holiday weekend will dumb the atmosphere down over there. Okay. In West Virginia, maybe so. No way BYU loses Saturday. Can we beat BYU twice? I think you can. Would you rather play BYU over Utah, Jamie?
Oh, goodness, yes.
Yeah.
Utah looks like a really good football team right now.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you really handled BYU. Yeah. This would fall into the category of, is it difficult to beat a team twice? Well, when you dominate them the first time because you're the way better football team, the answer is no. It's not difficult.
It's not difficult. Okay.
Yeah.
But
I'm not guaranteeing you're going to win, but
Yeah.
I mean, but you understand. I mean, you look like way the better football team. We all talked about the fact that it was 29-7, and we said, what, you left points on the board. What game wasn't that close?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that you should feel really good going into that matchup. Utah just looks like the way that they're using their backup quarterback right now, that they're a much more explosive offense. I know they gave up a bunch of points this weekend to Kansas State. I totally get that, but it looks like they're more dynamic than they have been offensively, and so it kind of almost felt like Utah was looking past Kansas State, and they somehow found a way to pull that one out.
Yeah. Hey, going back to Jacob Rodriguez just for a second, do you think he gets an invite to New York as part of the Heisman Trophy celebration and announcement?
I still think he's going to, and I continue to see that he's not listed as one of the favorites to do so, but we'll see. I mean, you just my guess is yes, but obviously I'm not polling the country.
You're not? Okay. Oh, I didn't know that you did that on your off time, or if you had like a Lent poll. Like, remember the Gallup poll back in the day that George Gallup had? I didn't know if you had like a Lent poll. That'd be cool if you did.
Well, first of all, it's Lent with an E, not an I. It's not the Lent.
That's why I said Lent poll. Lent. Did I make it sound like lint, like you get out of the dryer? I'm sorry. Didn't mean it like that. Lent, like is lint. I'll do better on my enunciation of the E's. And you don't have one of those nationwide Lent polls, do you?
I do not, Chuck.
Okay.
I do not.
This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. I was surprised that Kansas State did so well offensively at Utah. Running back had almost 300 yards rushing.
Yeah, and they lost. Yeah. I mean, just couldn't finish that game out.
Yeah. Somebody looking ahead to next year. Speaking of Cincinnati, Brendan Sorsby is number one on my list of transfer quarterbacks. Bring that young Texan back home.
I wouldn't hate it. I wish so much there was a rule that you couldn't transfer within conference, but yeah, I would not hate Brendan Sorsby as a Red Raider quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, you would think maybe that you'd have your pick with kind of what you've been willing to spend and things along those lines to make it happen. I mean, but we got a lot of football. We got a lot of football left here, so no reason to be looking ahead to next year yet when you've got so much still in front of you this year. There's still a lot of meat on the bone. I mean, you got game on Saturday, you got a Big 12 championship game potentially, you got college football playoff games potentially. So you got a lot left to think about for 2025, let alone even worried about 2026. We got plenty left to worry about this year, which is awesome to think about. All right, it's 6:40 this morning on the Morning Drive.
This is the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
The Syracuse Nationals beat the Anderson Packers 125-123 in 5 overtimes.
Anderson Packers?
The Anderson Packers. This is a basketball team.
Okay.
I was a little worried that it was a football team when I saw the 5 overtimes in the score. But I did make sure and look that it was, in fact, a basketball team.
Okay.
1957, Cleveland Browns fullback Jim Brown sets a club record of 237 yards rushing.
It's a good day.
I think he's a pretty good guy. I think you might want to keep an eye on him. 1973, Joe Barnes runs for 119 yards and passes for 112. As number 12, Texas Tech beats Arkansas 24-17 to end the regular season 10-1. 1991, Monica Seles sets female tennis record, winning prize money of $2,457,758 in a single year.
She was really good.
Is she underrated with
maybe
with the Venus twins? Venus and
not twins, sisters.
Sisters. Is she? I mean, she's kind of. I feel like she's kind of in the same boat as Pete Sampras is with the 3 guys recently. That she was a great, great player that's going to be just forgotten about a little bit.
A little bit, but understand the players that she's getting forgotten because of we're better.
Well, sure.
And
Yeah.
Same thing with Sampras.
2017, Nick Shimonek came off the bench in the fourth quarter to throw 2 touchdown passes, and Texas Tech rallied to beat Texas 27-23 Friday night and earned a victory to make the Red Raiders bowl eligible for the 38th time in program history. This win, by the way, over Texas.
Nice.
It is National Sardines Day. My question is why?
Yeah, why?
Why?
Who wants that?
It's
like zombie runners in baseball. Who wants that?
Cats like sardines. That I think that's the end of that conversation. Katherine Heigl, 47. Colin Hanks is 48. Dwight Schultz is 78. Oscar Robertson, 87. Rudy Tomjanovich is 77. Bernie Kosar, 62. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 43. And Ben DiNucci is 29. And on this day,
DiNucci. Is he still a thing somewhere? I mean, he's good in the Geico commercials, but
I don't know if he's actually a backup this year or not.
yeah, I don't know if he is or not.
I think he's just being Ben DiNucci.
Okay, well,
And you know what? That's a big job.
have at it.
On this day, 1947, House of Representatives votes 346 to 17 to approve of citations of contempt against 10 Hollywood writers, directors, and producers. These men had refused to cooperate at hearings dealing with the communism in the movie industry held by House of Un-American Activities Committee. The Hollywood 10, as they were known, are sentenced to 1 year in jail. The Supreme Court would later uphold that contempt charge. The contempt charges stemmed from the refusal of the 10 men to answer questions posed by the HUAC as to whether they were or had ever been members of the Communist Party. And they got blackballed by Hollywood for the rest of their careers. All because Joe McCarthy had a briefcase with fake names and just started screaming.
Fake names.
And that is this day in sports history.
All right, this day in sports history on this November the 24th, 2025. It is 6:50 this morning here on the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. Well, football came to an end for Monterey, for Lubbock Cooper, for Liberty over the weekend, plus Estacado, but Ropes gets to continue, Jamie, and man, it's now slim pickings as far as the high school playoffs are concerned, isn't it?
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's tough. I mean, for any of those teams, you get a couple rounds deep. It had to be hard to lose, but obviously really good seasons.
Yeah, I mean, you like you said. I mean, you get in a couple of get in a little deep and you put yourself in that spot. But Slayton's still playing. They'll take on Wall at the Mustang Bowl in Sweetwater, Idalou. They'll play Canadian, New Home. They'll take on West Texas later on this week at Floydada High School. Ropes meets Groover at in Canyon. And let's see, that's Lubbock Christian still playing. They'll play Geneva School of Bourne. The Lubbock Titans still playing. They'll take on Lantana Harvest Christian. So still some schools playing. Seminoles playing Brock. These games are all on Friday. The Seminole, Slayton, Idalou, New Home, Ropes. So they get a little Thanksgiving football, which is great, right? But it's just too bad that the Cooper schools and Monterey and Estacado are Dunzalis for the year. But like you said, it's a good football season. 6:52 this morning here on the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. And then Tom Stone's soccer season for his Red Raiders soccer team. That came to a close on Friday. They lose in penalty kicks to North Carolina 4-3. It's just heartbreaking when you go to 2 extra periods and you get to penalty kicks and all that. All that said, man, it's crazy when that's the case.
Yeah, no doubt, and they lose both in the Big 12 championship tournament and in the NCAA tournament off of penalty kicks. You hate that. That really stinks. Exciting.
It's just a
tough.
gut punch, right? I mean, and if you feel like they had a lot of ties this year, and I get it. I mean, it's just one of those things that just didn't necessarily go your way at the end of the day. I do want to get to basketball. I do want to get Jamie's take on the Rangers trade. It seems like the Rangers are doing a fruit basket turnover of their whole team. It feels like it's going to be a completely different look for the Rangers coming up this year. And maybe I shouldn't say feels like, it is, Jamie, going to be a completely different look for the Rangers this year, isn't it?
Well, I mean, when you've had what you would consider probably a bad year, I mean, it's not a bad thing to make changes, I would say. Yeah,
and it comes, a year off of winning a World Series. It just seems like that run ended quickly. New manager and now new players and just a new look at things
2
coming
years
up in the next season. So we'll see. 6:53 this morning here on the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. As we continue to take your thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line, plus the Visual Edge IT hotline. It too is open for you at 806-771-0973. If you missed it yesterday, Cowboys get a win. Also, the Lady Raiders got a win yesterday in New Mexico. We'll get to that. And also get to the Red Raider basketball from the Bahamas, the disaster that was there. Well, that's coming up this morning here on the Morning Drive on Double T.
This is the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Today on Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. If you're about to go Thanksgiving and you want to share where you're heading off to and your jalopy, you certainly can. If you're going to grandma's house or grandpa's house or just going to the in-laws, and you need us as comfort or as a sounding board or as an excuse. Hey, I've got to go listen to appointment radio with the Morning Drive, so I'm sorry I can't sit here and listen to the family squabble or the problems down on the farm or things like that. So we're good for that, right, Jamie? I mean, we're a good excuse for folks that maybe want to get away from their relatives or their in-laws for a few minutes, that they could say, hey, I've got to go. I've got an appointment here that I've got to check in on and see, make sure everything's going okay on the Morning Drive.
Especially if you're having to deal with them at like 6 a.m.
Yeah,
like, why would you have to be dealing with them at 6 a.m.?
Right. Or even 7:15, right? You'd be like, hey, I think I'm going to take a walk.
Yeah.
Well, here's the beautiful part. It doesn't have to be at 6 a.m. You can download the podcast all week long and use us as an excuse at any time of your convenience.
Sure. That's exactly right. And we've got fantastic podcasts for you to listen to as well.
I wouldn't go that far, but I would say that we have podcasts available for you.
I think they're fantastic. I mean, the guys work really hard on them. We got Talking Baseball with Jamie. We got Red Raider Recon. We've got
you're talking about those. I was talking about the shows.
Yeah, all that stuff. I mean, we got great stuff for people to be informed, and so that way they can, like, let people know what's going on and make them sound like they're the expert. Like, oh, hey, we gotta talk to Jack over here, man, because he knows everything about the Red Raiders, and all he's doing is listening to Red Raider Recon or Ask Level or Talking Baseball or anything else, or just maybe tuning in and getting informed or misinformed by some of our shows, including this one. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line, Jamie. This person says Toppin misses D5. Do you think they missed D5, or do you think they just haven't figured out with this 5 how it's going to work?
I wouldn't disagree with the fact that they're missing him a little bit. He obviously brought some toughness to the floor with him. There were some things about him that you didn't love, but at the same time, he was a terrific player, a good scorer, did everything. Another primary ball handler for you. That made things easier on your point guard. The offense kind of ran through him, and he was a good passer. So it'd be hard not to admit that you're losing or you're missing some of his skill set and toughness and all that good stuff. But I think there's also some truth to the second part of what you said. This team is kind of figuring it out a little bit, but it's just tough. I don't know if it's an overreaction Monday after you get beat that badly kind of a situation, but it's hard to not take note of just how much better Purdue was than you.
Yeah. That's the thing. They got and the other thing too is Purdue got hot. I mean, they were 34 of 58 from the field. They shot 59%. They were 57% from three. I mean, it's like everything they threw up went in, and it felt like that you were out of sync, and then the defensive pressure, and even though you didn't turn the ball over that much, you got a lot of one and dones. You got out rebounded 43-25. That stings as much as anything. By getting out rebounded by 18 rebounds. Goodness gracious.
It just felt like there was really nothing out of that game that you could hang your hat on and say, okay, but we did this really well.
Can we go back to talking about Jacob Rodriguez? That was a lot more fun. Or maybe how bad West Virginia's going to get beat this weekend. That was a lot more fun.
Right. I just felt like we were, compelled at some point in time to get to this game. I mean, as icky as it was. We get this. Thanksgiving at the in-laws house in Denver City. Full of UT fans. What a beautiful thing to be a Red Raider. Have a great week. Yeah, you have a great week. And remember, we still got a game to play. And let me ask you this, Jamie, with A&M and Texas coming up, I mean, isn't everybody going to be a Longhorn fan to see the Aggies get upset so that you could potentially get into a bye situation for the college football playoffs if you win the Big 12 championship?
Yeah, this is one of those games that I look at and say I'll have to wait and see where my heart's taking me when the game starts. What you are saying makes sense. Mm-hmm. It increases the odds of you getting a bye, yes. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I mean, there's a lot there to not like wearing burnt orange.
Well, I mean, does it beat maroon? You don't have to wear the burnt orange. You just kind of have to, you don't even have to put up the hook 'em horns. You can just say, I would prefer that this happened so that this could happen, so that this could happen.
What's that big comet that's coming through from interstellar space? Whatever it is, that's what I'm cheering for on Friday night.
A comet to hit.
I want the stadium to be emptied, but yeah, that's what I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for the comet.
You want to end the world? Is that what you want to do, Jeff?
It's not big enough to end the world. Just that little section of it.
Okay.
And I think we'd all be okay if that little section went away.
Well, I'll be really interested. I'm sure that Coach McGuire will be asked this today. If he had a preference of, hey, getting a bye or getting a home playoff game, and maybe he won't be asked that directly, or maybe he'll kind of talk out of both sides just to kind of be everybody's friend on that. Because I mean, on one hand, you want to have a home playoff game. On the other hand, hey, I'd rather have the bye because it's better for my team. And maybe he will say that. Hey, it's better for my team and better for us to win it all if we have a bye. It makes our path a little easier just from the standpoint that you have to play one less game, right?
I think Joey McGuire will say we're focused on West Virginia this week and going 1-0 this week. Because if we don't win this week, we might not play in the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. That's probably better.
And he's super excited to play West Virginia on Saturday at 11 o'clock.
It's got our full attention, right? It's got our full attention. Somebody says I'd rather be a Georgia Tech fan. Yeah.
That sounds like way more fun.
Yeah, I can go there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and here's the other thing too. Or how about this? When they play in the Big Ten championship game, be an Ohio State fan and say, I hope they beat Indiana by 35, because if they beat Indiana by 35 or even maybe 21, that might be enough to drop Indiana out of a top 4 situation, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So there are better ways, in my opinion, to go about this than rooting for the Longhorns. I have.
Where does Michigan rank in this?
I have way more friends that I think are good people that are Aggies than I do Longhorns. So
okay.
Yeah.
Where do we put Michigan in the Michigan-Ohio State matchup?
Go Michigan.
Is it go Michigan?
Absolutely.
I mean,
well, they can all lose for all I care. We could be number 1 going into the playoff. That'd be great.
And Ryan Day still has something to prove there with Michigan and Ohio State. Yeah. So we'll see. Somebody said this. He's already said that he wants the bye. Okay. We'll see if that's said again today, or if that's asked today. I'm sure that it will be, but I'm sure Jeff is more accurate in that. Hey, we're just focused on West Virginia at 11 o'clock right now. Let's get to West Virginia at 11 o'clock and see what happens after that game and see where it takes us as far as the Big 12 championship is concerned. So they got first things first.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3, presented today by someone not named Jamie, is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
alrighty, guys, go ahead and pull up the entire schedule for college football this weekend. And we'll even say starting tomorrow, because there's a game. If you're just dying to know Bowling Green and Massachusetts, easy for me to say, that's an acceptable answer. There's no wrong answer for this question, except you cannot say Texas Tech, and Chuck cannot say the Kansas game this weekend. You get to find out the score today to one game coming up this week in college football. What game are you picking, and why?
Oh man, it's easy for me. I'm going to say number 3 Texas A&M at number 17 Texas. That's it's a 6:30 p.m. kick on Friday, and I would love to know the outcome of that game so that you kind of have an opportunity to see how much more is riding on Saturday's game with Tech and West Virginia, and there is plenty riding on that without even knowing what that score is going to be.
That would be a hard one to beat. I think that's probably my answer as well, but if I'm just going to pick a different one that I'm intrigued by, I would go Georgia and Georgia Tech, just because I think that's another opportunity where you could easily slide in to one of those top 4 spots, mean getting a bye if Georgia Tech could take down Georgia. And Georgia Tech has not played well of late, so I don't necessarily expect that to happen. But it's another opportunity there. Michigan, Ohio State, I think is great. It is one of those national matchups that I do pay attention to a little bit, just because I feel like it's such a hated rivalry that makes it fun. But I just feel like Michigan's not going to challenge Ohio State at all in that game. So, number 1, I would go with Chuck's answer, Texas and A&M. My number 2 answer would be Georgia Tech versus Georgia.
See, I had Georgia Tech as my number 1 answer. But in the spirit of getting all 3 of these games mentioned, I would put Ohio State, Michigan as number 2. That's 2 top 25 teams facing off. It's in Michigan. So Ohio State going on the road. Now, they're excellent football team. Let's not pull any strings here. Okay.
And the fact that they've won 4 in a row and Ryan Day's had issues trying to beat Michigan and all that, I think that adds some extra pizzazz to it.
Sure. And I think it should be a fun game if for someone sitting outside of it. I will absolutely be rooting for Michigan in this game because of the Ohio State. But I also, the Georgia Tech game, I think it's going to be a lot closer than what I think Ohio State Michigan's going to be with regards to how it's going to be affecting Texas Tech and possible buys for the college football playoff. But I think we got the right answers in there. I'm sure there's somebody out there that would love to know the UCF BYU game, but that's not where I'm sitting this week.
How about Purdue and Indiana? Boil up, man. Boil her up.
Boy, what a difference a sport makes, huh, Jamie?
No doubt.
Purdue at 2-9, taking on undefeated Indiana at 11-0. I don't see that there's going to be much chance for Drew Brees. Ain't running out of that, huddle for Purdue, and neither is a very young Bob Greasy or Lynn Dawson. So at any rate, I think Indiana will have very, very easy work. I am intrigued by this Ole Miss Mississippi State game only because I'm intrigued by a little bit by what Lane Kiffin is going to do. It's starting to wear on me. I don't really care a whole lot if he goes to LSU. Seems like that's probably where he's going to go now or goes to stay at Ole Miss. I mean, if he's wherever he goes, he's going to be a rich man, but supposedly he's going to announce this decision after that game, and that's an 11 a.m. kick on Friday, the old Egg Bowl there between Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Jamie, you don't care anything about that, do you?
Whether he goes or not?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's interesting. I mean, I'm not on the edge of my seat about it. There's a part of me that feels like he's done a good job there, and I think it'd be good for college football a little bit for him to stay there. But yeah, no, and I also don't want LSU to have any kind of success after their governor showed to be a little bit annoying. So
a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm rooting for it to go badly there, and I think Lane Kiffin has become a good coach, and I think you would have to think that he'd have the chance to really do big things if he went there.
Yeah. This only way I could pull for the Horns this week is if it's guaranteed they won't sneak into the playoffs with a win. I just don't see that happening. Do you see that happening, Jamie?
I don't think they will, but man, it wouldn't be the shock of all shocks, just the way we know that the strings are being pulled and that networks are involved and the Longhorns sell.
Yeah. I just don't know. Good morning. Very cool to see Jacob Rodriguez live on the Big Noon show in Cincinnati. Saturday also looks like the Rangers are cleaning house. Do we think / hope Josh Young will be kept? That's a good question from Red Raider Charlie. Jamie?
If they value Josh, I want him to stay there. I would think that he would want to stay there. If they don't value Josh, I would think that he'd be better off somewhere else. So it didn't feel like at the end of the year with the comments being made by the GM Chris Young that they were all in on Josh, and which kind of makes me feel like maybe he'd be better off somewhere else. But hopefully all of that's been worked out or figured out or whatever. And again, it felt like Josh was being criticized at times, and meanwhile there were other players like the guy that you're seeing getting traded that had a much worse season than Josh Young did, and we didn't hear any comments about him. And there were other guys that would fall into that category too, which was very puzzling to me.
Yeah. It is 7:40 this morning here on the Morning Drive. The Boom 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 is next on Double T 97.3. Maybe he'd look good in pinstripes, Jamie. The Yankees need a third baseman.
They could use him.
Okay, they could use them.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Nice to have you with us on this Monday edition of the Morning Drive, hour 3 of 3. As we come to you, Jamie, Jeff, and I from the First United Bank studio. Take your thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to doublet973.com for that of the mobile app. The Visual Edge IT hotline is open too at 806-771-0973. You know, as much as I love Brad Shamman, man, I love listening to Brad Sham on the radio, and I have my headset right next to my chair so I can listen to him and watch the Cowboys or watch for the big moments or get it. I just don't like his use of butter for Brandon Aubrey. And I know that that's what the team says about him, smooth as butter. I'm just not a butter guy, Jamie. And so it kind of just turns my stomach to hear the butter.
Chuck's more of a parquet guy.
No, it's not. I'm not parquet. I just don't. There's just not a whole lot of things that I put butter on. About the only thing I put butter on is corn and toast. And that's about it. I don't even like seeing butter cooked for like anything.
I will tell you, every cookie you have had from me was made with real butter.
I know. I know that. I know that. I know that it makes things taste good. I just don't like the look of it. I mean, I'll put butter on popcorn occasionally because the lucky lady likes butter on her popcorn. And occasionally I do too. But generally speaking, when I see it come out of the spigot there at the movie theater, it just turns my stomach. So just put me down for not liking that nickname, butter. But he is smooth as silk. How about if we just say silk, silk, silk? Would that be better, Jamie?
Sure.
Sure. Okay. Sure. We'll move on. Cowboys now 5-5-1. They take on Kansas City. Will they be favored Thursday against the Chiefs? Or should they be favored Thursday against the Chiefs?
Did Patrick Mahomes retire and I missed that?
No, but I mean, they haven't been playing well and they're playing at home. I mean, you could make a case that the Cowboys will be favored by 3. And I haven't seen any lines yet.
3, one way or the other wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like the Chiefs just been lighting it up. They finally won a 1-score game. They had to come back to beat the Indianapolis Colts. And granted, the Colts are much better than what they were. And it's amazing how much better Daniel Jones is playing as a member of the Indianapolis Colts than he was with the New York Giants. I mean, maybe it's just that he's got a better team around him, Jamie. That happens too. That's allowed to happen when players go from one team to the next. They're like, hey, maybe the guys I'm playing with are better, or maybe the coaching and the play calling is better as well.
Yeah, I think that's going on there with the Colts. They look to be a much better team than the Giants have been over the last 5 or 6 years.
Kansas City, by the way, 3.5-point favorite over Dallas on Thursday.
Yeah. Cowboys 5-5-1. Chiefs are 6-5. Does the loser of this game get knocked out of the playoffs, or do you guys think the Cowboys are already knocked out of the playoffs? Don't you?
I don't think they're knocked out of the playoffs because, I mean, technically they're not. I just think it's going to be a very tough challenge for them to get there.
The Cowboys can have one more loss this year to make the playoffs. Okay. They haven't gotten that yet. So they are still in playoff contention, but their playoffs started this past week on Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
And they went 2-0 on that week. Give them credit for that. They went on Thursday. That's 3 games in 10 days where they were all wins. That's great stats moving forward. They still have to keep that up for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Okay. As far as the playoff battle is concerned, the Chiefs are still on the outside looking in. Do they make the playoffs, you think, or do they are they going to finish outside the playoffs this year?
I would guess they'll still find a way to get in.
Okay. You feeling okay about Buffalo getting in?
I'm not feeling okay about Buffalo, period.
Yeah. I understand that.
Terrible defense.
Yeah. Cowboys behind Carolina, behind Detroit. San Francisco is still ahead of them. But again, really, I guess the Rams now are considered to be the favorite to win the Super Bowl. I mean, they put a whooping on their opponent last night. They're now 9-2 on the season. New England, man, they look really good. They're 10-2 in the AFC. So we'll see. I'm with you on movie theater butter, but truthfully, that stuff is not butter. That's probably true. We get this. This is our first Thanksgiving without mom. I'm sorry to hear that. Over the past few years, both parents and grandparents have passed away. This Thanksgiving, give thanks to all those family members there around you. Yes, I understand. This, as a long-time listener, I believe I could serve you guys a meal sometime. I know just about everything that each of you like and dislike as far as food goes. That from Washed Up Guy.
Yeah, probably so. Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, feel free to serve us up, right? Bring us our favorite dishes. Let's see, Jamie, where was last night's defense, the first of the season, and against the Cardinals? And what can the Cowboys do to have CeeDee Lamb drop so many passes? Yeah, come on, Coach Jamie.
Where was last night's defense?
Where was last night's defense
at the first of the season
and against the Cardinals?
Yeah, I thought the defensive front did a great job of stopping the run. I mean, clearly Saquon Barkley had 22 yards on 10 carries last night. They shut him down. I'll be honest with you, the Eagles offense just shot themselves in the foot over and over again with the penalties. I mean, really, starting in the second quarter. But I mean, Dallas gets some credit, no doubt. I mean, they shut down that run game, although, if we're being honest, everybody has shut down the Eagles run game this year. But they, in the defensive backfield, you saw when Hurts had plenty of time to throw, he wasn't getting his receivers open. So they did a great job on the receivers of the Eagles in the defensive backfield. But again, the Eagles just kept making penalties that killed their drives. And that was just, really undisciplined, poor football by Philly.
Dallas is a much improved defense since the trade deadline. I still don't know how much I trust them.
Yes,
since Diggs is not on the field,
that's
also
been,
much better defense.
I've been hopeful, yeah.
It is 8:09 here on the Morning Drive. Take your thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. There's a couple of tidbits from the chat line that I want to get to. The chat line and the mobile app is presented by Happy State Bank.
This has been the Morning Drive podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.